You have to put your hand in a hole. James loves putting his hand in holes, man. It's his favourite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Putting his hand in holes. It's going,
He doesn't really hesitate, does he?
If I come to a ball, it's got a hole. I ain't putting my hand in there. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Game Chat. I'm Chris, and with me today we have Kate.
Hey.
We have Jamie.
Right.
And we have Corey.
Hello.
And today's big topic is Silent Hill 2 Remake from Bloober Team. So we're going to go round the room and basically let me know your history of Silent Hill and your overall thoughts of the game quickly, relatively. So first, we're going to go to Kate.
I have played most, if not all, of the Silent Hill games. Silent Hill 2 is my favourite game. I enjoyed the remake. It still suffers from the fact that it was made by Bloober Team. I will not apologise, as previously stated in my previous video where I said that if I actually really liked it, I would formally apologise to Bloober Team. I will not.
Did you really like it?
I did enjoy the game. It was very good, but all the criticisms I had of the media, like gameplay-wise, little bugs, little things that just don't work, I still found them in this game.
Okay.
Corey, you guys mean?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, sure. So I've played all the Silent Hills except the crappy PS Vita one. Yeah, I'm a big Silent Hill fan. Silent Hill 3 is probably my favourite. 1 or 3 to be fair.
Okay.
Not saying 2 is a bad game. 2 is really, really good, but Silent Hill 3 is probably my favourite. But those early ones are all fantastic, and then you get to like the Xbox 360 era, and it takes a massive downturn, unfortunately. But those original games really hold a special place in my heart. And this Silent Hill 2 was I think it was fantastic. I think it was really, really good. One of the better survival horror games we've had for a while.
Okay.
You too?
Jamie?
My first Silent Hill game.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I enjoyed it. Thought it was good. It was worth the money. Worth buying and playing.
Yeah.
Good. I'm very much the same as Jamie. My first Silent Hill game. Never played Silent Hill before. I love survival horror though, so it's a bit wild that I haven't played any Silent Hills. Well, to be fair, does PT count?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I played PT.
As a Silent Hill, no. No, it doesn't. Because
It was technically Silent Hill.
they scrapped the whole idea as well, so it's not in canon anywhere.
No, obviously, but yeah, I played that one. But yeah, I've always had an interest in getting into Silent Hill, but by the time I got that interest, the game seemed too old to go back and play. So I was happy when they announced this remake. I did question a lot of it as we were seeing the trailers and stuff, and I was like, this looks a bit rough.
And doing it when you were like, Silent Hill 2 getting a remake, I was like, oh my god, yes. And you were like, Bloober Team making it. I was like, no. It wasn't that bad though. Actually, to give them credit, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so I'll give them like a quarter of an apology.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of the better survival horrors I've played in a while, like you said, Core. I think it's out of all the ones I've played, like the Raiders and the Dead Space, I think it's the scariest, and it makes you feel the most uneasy. And I think that it does the actual scary factor of it really, really well.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
It's because it's not like it doesn't try to ramp up. It tries to keep like a constant state of like
You're just constantly
on edge.
Yeah.
on edge. Like playing that game, my shoulders were tense most of the game. After every game session of playing it, my shoulders were aching.
See, it didn't do that to me. I actually didn't find it that creepy.
Really?
Yeah.
There was one thing that gave me a bit of a jump scare, but other than I thought it was like because I played it. It was, yeah.
Jump scared, but I didn't find it massively creepy. Like no more than others.
Yeah, I think I thought because I played it before and I kind of knew what to expect, but I just like.
I think it does a really good job of like painting that atmosphere where it's like the music's really good and very like eerie. Having the fog at the start as well, you don't know what's coming and stuff like that. And just kind of the environmental storytelling and stuff is just very
that was
creepy and stuff, and like just the 3D sound when using headphones. Jesus Christ. It's so accurate as well.
Yeah. I was playing it when you were on night. So I was just playing it with the sound out.
Did it still have that same effect though?
I'm not. It takes a lot to scare me. Like horror movies and horror games are not really like. But then like if I play Minecraft, look, I'll get like shot by a mob and then I'll be like, this is too scary for me. This is too scary. So, I don't know.
Wait for the Minecraft movie.
I know. Or like there'll be like a little like tiny little jump scare in like a kids movie or like a Marvel movie, and I'll be like, oh. But when it's in a horror movie, I'm just like,
Because you expect it.
I think that's what it is. I think like I'm constantly expecting it, so it doesn't get me. But then when it's somewhere, I'm not really ready for it. So it was okay, and I played it on my own, like empty house in the dark, and I was still just like vibing, like having the time of my life.
We'll go through like the non-spoilery aspects first before we get into the big spoilers like the story and stuff. But like in terms of like gameplay, what are people's thoughts?
I'm quite happy with it. Like I like James. The combat was never going to be fantastic because James isn't a fighter. He's not a hero. He's not a soldier.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's walking through a situation. It's been made to deal with it. So like his gun control isn't very good. The way he just wildly swings his weapons is just like untrained in any sort of way. So it's not surprising that he'd be bad because it's a function of the game.
Yeah.
I really like the puzzling aspects. The puzzles were good and entertaining. Not overly hard. I played on the medium setting and the medium setting for combat. So
In terms of puzzles, I thought that was really cool how you could, if you change the setting on the puzzles, it changes the puzzle.
yeah.
Kate, which difficulty did you play on?
I think I had combat on like easy, and then I think I had puzzle on like. What were the options?
Easy, medium, hard. Basically.
Probably medium then.
Yeah. Because like our puzzles were different.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
What difference do you have? Do you remember?
Like I remember, you know, the room. You go into a room and you got that safe in the middle, and you got to figure it stuff out. Like our stuff were different on the wall.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, because it was like I can't find. I'm like, it's like there's footsteps. You walk up, you see the puzzle on the wall, and he was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. I was like, "What are you about?"
That one took me a while. I swear one of them wasn't appearing properly for a while. I kept like looking at it, shining the torch on that spot, and nothing was showing.
I had a few.
It might have been a bug.
Bugs.
Bloober Team bugs.
Bloober Team, yeah, exactly like what I would expect. Unfortunately, what I would expect, but I see a lot of people that the main criticism I see of this game is gameplay and like the controls and the camera and stuff. But like, it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Like in the original, there was a lot of like fixed camera angles, and they were put there on purpose to make you be like, oh god, like I can't see what's in front of me. Like that's the point of it.
Yeah.
And like what Corey says, like in Resident Evil, you're always like someone who's had some level of training to do whatever it is we're about to do.
Yeah.
But like James is just a normal dude, so it makes sense that it's
yeah.
not like you're not like
You're not Chris Redfield.
You're not punching no boulders out.
You're not. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and I think for the purpose of the game, the gameplay was fine. Like it didn't need to be. I thought it was fine.
I did find myself getting stuck on geometry every now and then,
all the time,
which was really annoying. Like that especially when you're fighting in like tight corridors and you got loads of enemies coming at you. It's annoying when you get stuck on.
The only time I got stuck on something is like if I was swinging, because I very very rarely use the guns. If I was swinging, and then I would kind of like clip into like say like a sofa or a rock, and then I could not get off.
See, mine isn't that bad. I just get stuck on something that's on the ground.
No, I literally like it was like stuck in there.
I'll get out of it, but it just stopped me for that split second. But you know what? You guys said you didn't get it. You played on PC, didn't you?
Yeah, we played
so
on
it might be
PC.
the difference between
Very strange. Yeah, I never knew that. It sounds like the console's more buggy than the PC version.
Probably
is. Fair.
It's not. I didn't find it overly buggy. Like some of the bugs Kate was getting, I was like, I have not had any of these bugs. So I think it's just look at the
enemies would be like in front of me, and then all of a sudden they'd be like, "Bye," and then they just disappear, and I'd be like, "Okay."
I think I did have that happen once. But...
Like, and then I was getting like these like weird patches where things would like flash, and you told me to change to the opposite of whatever I was on.
Yeah, because you were on.
You're on quality. You went to performance.
Because quality mode, and that's why you changed.
So when I was on,
was it better?
When I was on the quality one, that's when I was getting all the visual bugs where things were like flashing in the distance and everything. Like I know the fog world exists. It was like a different patch of like fog that was just here, there, and everywhere. And then when I changed to the other one, that's when it was like, oh, you stuck on everything. Oh, this enemy.
So you
this enemy's not
which
here
bug?
anymore.
Yeah.
I should have kept it on
Pick your
the,
poison.
I should have kept it on the visual one because the visual one
See,
was not that.
I had none of this.
Yeah.
Like, I got caught on like geometry, but like not as bad as you.
Yeah.
I don't know if this. I'm assuming this isn't a bug because I feel like I had this gripe in the medium. So when you have to click on something, so like you have to go and interact with something, you literally have to wait till like the stars are aligned and it's like a blood moon to be able to click on something. Like you can't.
Health tricks. You have to like, be at such a specific angle.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering.
Especially when they're in like in a cupboard.
Yeah. They have fixed that since they've released a patch to widen
When you're in a cupboard, you like look in the cupboard at the right angle. It's just so annoying.
You gotta be a bit
That's what I mean. There's like those little the gripes I had with
Tiny little quality of life thing.
yeah. And then the reason I can't fully be like, yeah, Bloober Team makes good games now is because Silent Hill 2 already exists.
Mm.
The story, the characters,
It was all
the
done.
atmosphere, the music, it's already all there.
Music was all new, but it was made by the same guy.
Yeah. But this is the thing, so like, if it didn't have those Bloober Team medium-esque bugs, I'd be like, whoa, yeah, okay, like, I'm willing to give these guys a chance now, let's go. But that game they're making on their own,
I do
the
think
Creepy Astronaut one,
Yeah.
that will be the test now.
That'll be the big test.
If that one
That's
has no
stuff.
bugs and it's really, really good, it'd be like, oh yeah, okay,
And their
they're on
story,
it now.
in their stories, but I can't remember what it's called. It was announced at one of the Xbox fingers thing, wasn't it?
I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
Because they put like a statement out. They put a statement out that was basically like, we know we've made trash games. We're trying to do better.
Well, you can't hope that maybe it was just like they didn't have enough funding to make the polish, and maybe they've got that.
Maybe that's exactly. Yeah. Konami want to pay for that. That's,
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, 100%. After this night, like I am willing to give them. Like before, I would have been like, I'm not touching another game, mate. But,
Well, luckily,
now,
the next game's
willing.
coming to Game Pass, so we don't even have to pay for it.
Do you know what? I'll give them half an apology.
Yeah.
Like,
For the end of this, it'll be a full one, guys.
so, Bloober Team. I judged you too harshly, but I wasn't completely wrong.
Yeah. What do you think about the graphics of the game? How do you think about how it looks and everything?
I think it looked fine in the end. Like obviously, like I said before, with the trailers and all that coming up, it looked awful.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we were watching and we were like, this looks something off about this, but like the graphics were fine in the end for me. It
Yeah.
wasn't like anything amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the environments looked a lot better than the characters, I thought.
Oh, you say that? I think it's the characters and like some of the facial animations are some of the best we've had.
Yeah.
They were really, really
Those-
high quality. Really high quality, I thought.
I thought the lip sync.
Those were good. Some of the textures were a bit low res.
Some of them were, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
Graphically wise, I think it's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's really. Like I said, you were playing on console. And we were
Yeah,
playing
it might
PC,
literally be the difference.
It's going to be different settings,
Yeah.
different things. But yeah, it looks like it's a really, really good looking game.
Mm.
And they did okay with optimizing it. It didn't run fantastic.
No, that's much worse though.
But there's a lot worse.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse out there. But yeah, I think it looked well. It performed okay for what it was doing. No major complaints on that.
I think they could have varied it up with some of the animations and stuff. Like in terms of like
We've seen a lot of the same
you've
things.
seen a lot of the same combat animations. I feel like maybe varying some of them up. It's funny, but it's a little annoyance of mine in the game when you walk into locked doors. You don't, like a normal person,
Try
put your hand out in front of you and push it. You just walk into it.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
dunk.
yeah, I'm like,
Just dunk.
it was just trying every door, just walking down the
Yeah.
corridor. You're just walking straight into it. Then about like any normal person would just go,
It's like it's going into it with the assumption it's always going to open.
yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
I feel like they could have done a little bit something
It's got a
better.
lot of joy.
Just walking into walls, basically. But,
Yeah.
I did try every door though. That's
Oh, yeah.
you got
Yeah.
to,
Got
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Did you all get that trophy? For
What?
trying like X amount of locked
Yeah.
doors?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
I think it's like something like 75 locked doors or something like
A
that.
lot,
Yeah.
But yeah. And most of the
It
majority
gives
of
you
the doors were locked.
It gives you the stats at the end and it tells you how many locked doors you encountered as well. Like,
Yeah.
the little like the stats at the end of the game are quite cool.
Yeah. What do you think of the enemy types and all that?
Well, we're getting spoilers now, so we're going to get in because that's
Well,
spoiler
yeah.
territory now.
I mean, is there anything else non-spoiler we can talk about, really?
We gotta talk about something because all we've done is been like, yeah, it was alright.
Is anything else, non-spoiler.
But when it's such a heavy story-based game,
Yeah.
it's very
hard,
difficult
isn't
to not talk about spoiler
Yeah.
stuff because everything that's involved, including all the puzzles and
Yeah.
everything's spoilers,
Yeah.
everything's going to be spoilers. So,
Yeah.
yes, that's the end of the spoiler.
So everyone who hasn't
Discussion.
played the game and doesn't want spoilers from here on out, here's your spoiler warning. Spoilers. It's happening.
Yes, spoilers.
We're gonna go into spoilers now. We've had 17 minutes of non-spoilers, so that's alright.
That's not enough, bro. That is not enough.
No.
What of non-spoilers?
Yeah.
17 minutes of non-spoilers.
That's basically
They can move
nothing.
on now. They can come back to the spoiler section when you've played the game. It's very good. Go
What
play
do you do? You need to play the game. Go away, go play
the
the
game. It's very good if you like horror games. It's very good.
Yeah, it is.
So spoilers. What are we,
Spoiler for a
enemy-
22-year-old game.
Enemy. See, you say that. I've never seen anything about this game,
Really?
and I've been
Well,
alive.
it was before YouTube was a thing, so
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but I've seen spoilers for Resi games that were that old.
Man.
yeah, but
I've seen spoilers for
Resi's
Final
more
Fantasy VII
mainstream.
that were that old.
Resi's more
But-
mainstream than Silent
but
Hill.
Resi games have come out
True.
when YouTube was a thing. So
Oh, games have come out when YouTube was a thing.
did
I
they?
wish they were shit.
Okay.
So what Corey's saying, it's been a dead franchise since.
It has been a
Silent
dead
Hill
franchise.
3.
14 times 4, really.
When
so.
they got rid of any remaining members of Team Silent, that's when it just sort of went downhill.
Yeah.
Quickly on that, before we go into the big spoilers, would you trust Bloober Team to do more remakes, and would you trust them to do future Silent Hill games?
I would trust them to do remakes. I think they should. If they remake Silent Hill 1, they've got to remake Silent Hill 3 because they click together.
Yeah.
So if they're going to do it,
They could
they've got-
almost
they've
do
got
that
to
full
commit.
game.
Well, yeah, they could.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on their own, like the next Silent Hill, just because I'm not going to bash on them again, like, you know what?
For me, I trust them in remakes. I'd give them a go on the next Silent Hill because who else are you going to get?
Mm.
Like, that's the little quick short one you said was not very good. That's apparently the next team.
Message.
That's apparently the next
yeah.
team making the next one.
It
So
wasn't before.
you know,
No, it had a good idea, and the story, like it's a good concept, but just
you put me off playing it. I was going to play it.
yeah,
but now I didn't.
it was just sort of a repetitive sort of round and round, and obviously like a loop, a time loop. Again, like that's very Silent Hill-esque. But like, you know, like you played PT and you were like, wow, this is gonna
I mean, that would be the
good.
dream if Kojima somehow got it back, but that's not going
It's
to happen.
not.
It's not going to happen.
Apparently, a lot of his concepts went into Death Stranding.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was watching this video the other day, and this guy was like, "This is my 2-hour long video about it," and I was like, "Oh!" And I literally sat there and watched all of it. A lot of his concept and the leaks ended up in Death Stranding, so
Okay.
I still haven't played Death
You
Stranding.
should.
you should.
I need to play it too. I got probably like a third of the way through.
You both should. It's very, very good. What about you guys? Would you want more remakes from them? Or
Yeah, I want at least 1 and 3.
Enough.
At least 1 and 3.
They can't make one without the other. They
They have to.
Yeah.
But they'll tell well. There's no reason for them not to do it. They'll come out and said that they'll do extra Silent Hill games as well,
Yeah.
didn't they? So they'll do 1 and 3 and give it to them because they know what they're doing.
4 was a very good game
It's very
until
different.
the last. But I enjoyed it until they introduced like a mechanic where you have like a character that follows you,
Mhm.
and that's where the game kind of like goes downhill. So if they could fix that, that would be another one I think that would do really well because it's got a really interesting concept. The gameplay loop is interesting. It's just that last tiny bit of the game. So I would like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest of them we just pretend them they
They don't
don't
exist.
exist. Yeah.
How many games do companions following you around WoW? I mean, really?
Resident Evil 4 because you could put her in a bin so you don't have to worry about it.
Get it in.
Very true.
I got the look at
So yeah, gameplay spoilers. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think of the enemy design? And
The enemy designs are very, very strong.
Mhm.
Very strong. The different enemy types. There isn't a vast amount of different kinds of enemies.
no,
No, it's not.
But they're very cool and they're very well designed.
The first time you see each one, you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
If you haven't played Silent Hill.
yeah. Like, I'm like, why is this fucking guy got like a zip in the
You know
back?
the different names. You know the different names of them are.
No.
So the first one you see is called the Lion Figure.
Lion figure.
It's the Lion Figure. So it's
Why?
meant to evoke somebody in like the death bags. What
The
they're
body
called.
bag.
Bags, yeah.
And it's like it can't like breathe
Yeah.
properly, like Mary.
Ah, that makes sense.
Do you know where the inspiration from that enemy came from? Silent Hill's one of my special interests. The guy who designs that enemy, I can't remember his name, he was like waiting in the car park or something for one of his like colleagues, and he had a hoodie on and his hands in his pocket, and he came like walking towards him, and he thought his like silhouette was like so weird. That's where that inspiration came from.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There you go. The more you know.
And there's a couple of different versions of those. So you've got the line figure that you first see at the beginning, and then you've got the one that you see in like the prison a lot, which is like spits at you and has to and goos everywhere.
Yeah.
I found them easier to kill.
They are easy to kill. Because as soon as they fall down, you just run away. Because they
You just dodge back and then.
Yeah, the first time I killed one, it got me, but then they didn't get me.
yeah.
The
You realise what
mannequins.
they do.
Yeah, the mannequins fuck me off. They do.
They
they're
crack
easy.
me up.
They're
They
easy,
crack
but
me
they fuck
up.
me off because like the amount of times they're just hiding behind.
They jump out. Purpose.
I know.
Again, they move weird. And when they start coming up walls, freak me out.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
I purposely stood there and shot them all off the wall.
Yeah. So, no.
It's when you're in like the apartment block and they're like standing up against the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm not here.
you can't see me, I'm not
They
here.
don't move.
In the apartment block where for one of the puzzles when you find something in the bathtub
Yeah.
and it has a mannequin behind the basket,
Yeah.
I actually immediately put a bullet. I immediately put a bullet through that window.
They are the way they hide really badly
If it doesn't make
makes
me
them
laugh.
quite funny to me. So I do really have a problem with them.
It's like when you see you're going around the corner and you see one of its legs out. It's like it's doing that sexy leg thing. Like.
Or it's like under the table and it's like looking away and you're like, bro, what are you
Or
doing?
you see it runs off, then hides, and you're like, I saw you before, man. What are you doing?
They're like,
You get very used to their combat pattern.
Oh yeah.
are they
the
supposed
exact
to be
same.
like James's sexual frustration?
Yeah,
or
it's like
something?
triple X basically.
Yeah.
So maybe they are doing the sexy leg thing then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of that comes. A lot of the stuff. So, like, if we talk about the nurses
Mm.
and what's going on with them, like,
They're probably the most iconic, other than
Yeah, they are.
the big guy.
yeah. So the nurses are obviously made to be like wearing stockings, made to be very sexually appealing. They've got condom heads full of jizz.
You can't tell what that is.
Literally, what that is.
The nurses' heads, they're filled with like liquid. The nurses can't breathe. Like Mary couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, like, if you do not notice, if you shoot in the body, it comes out red. If you shoot in the head, it comes out white.
I did that.
No,
No, it literally condom heads full of jizz.
Jizz heads.
Yeah.
That's what the
And they're cool. They're and they move funky and
yeah.
they're quite strong actually.
Tell you what though,
I tried to
They are really easy to
one or
avoid.
two, and I was like, nah, fuck it.
Absolutely, yeah. I just shot most of them.
They are really
people
easy.
need to then hit them.
They are really easy just to avoid. Just walk slow, and they just don't. No, I did that sometimes because I had a tendency of panic shooting, so I ran out of bullets quite a lot. I know you guys didn't.
I ended up going with like an arm's worth.
No, I did in the end. I did in the end, but there was some things where I just I ran out of bullets because if something scares me, I'm fucking putting like 5 bullets in it. Like
There's so many bullets. How do you run out?
The nurses that when I started to use the gun, everything else I'd choose the like. What did you have at the start with it? Pipe, like it's a plank wood, then it turns into a metal pipe, doesn't it?
yeah.
I just use that, and then when I got to the nurses, I'd like put some bullets in them, then
And then
run
whack
and then
'em.
like smack them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up.
See, I got the strategy of you shoot in the knee, it falls down onto one knee, and then you smack the shit out of it. Yeah.
Well, or it just took 3 headshots
Yeah.
Yeah.
with a
But
pistol. And
that saved me
Yeah.
bullets, and I needed to do that in the end.
The
or you
weird,
just shotgun them so it knocks them over.
Yeah.
weird things.
I only like
The mandarins.
Mandarins, yeah.
Mandarins, yeah. So you got those little boys.
They're disgusting.
The ones that go upside down.
the ones with the flashlights from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I was really aiming it. I'm like, that's not a flashlight. What's going on here? What do they represent? Or do I need to ask?
I don't know about those. I forgot they
It's going to be something
existed.
sexual.
They used to normally just about to stun lock you on the screen.
For the
But
longest
in
time,
the-
I didn't even know that they were a thing. Like,
in-
I was walking through this thing
Yeah.
where it was really dark. I was like, what the fuck's that? Because it obviously plays the
Yeah,
radio
Yeah,
thing.
you
when
get
they
to you get to see one early on, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
I
do
didn't
anything to
know
you.
it.
In the original game, they weren't a thing. You saw them once.
You literally saw them when you were going over that like grate and they're underneath, and all you do is just walk around them.
Yeah.
But then they introduced the ones that like attack on the
Yeah.
like stitch to the
When you
ceiling
get
and
into the
stuff.
basement in the hotel. Yeah.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
I think I've got the bugs. Like the bugs that you squish.
Oh, yeah, there, easy.
Yeah.
You know that on the models for them to turn them over, they get little human faces.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Are they really?
yeah, they're not just bugs. They're not just bugs. What else was there? I think was that all the enemy types.
Other than
The
like,
boss fight.
Oh, the bosses, obviously.
But
Other than the bosses.
it's like Pyramid Head, like
Yeah.
the big boy, like
Do you guys know?
or
What his,
Mr. Pyramid as I called him all
do you
the
guys
time.
know what his real name is?
John.
No, he's not called Pyramid Head in the
No.
game. No,
Is he not?
he's called the Red
Red
Pyramid
yeah.
King.
Yeah,
It's
the
what he's,
Red
what he's
Pyramid.
actually called.
That works.
okay.
Not,
That's like the
not
first time
cheese
you
grated
see
head.
He's in that like red light,
Mm.
Yeah.
and then there's all the pictures
That
around the
iconic
town
red light.
with the like the cult with like the red bags on their heads. and stuff.
Yeah, like you see the two with the
Yeah.
the hoods. Yeah.
That's why, you know, like one of the first notes you pick up in the florist, it's like, oh, he wants a bouquet of red and white, and we've tried to tell him like it's unlucky, we don't really want to do that, but he insists because of like the cult. That's why they don't like the red and white colours.
Took me the longest. Well, obviously I didn't realise until near the end. There's two of them. Like that didn't click with me for the longest time.
The major theory for why there's two of them is it's one for every human that James has killed, so Mary and Eddie.
Oh, so you don't get the second one until then?
No.
Okay.
Well, you never see the two of them together. And then like Pyramid's great blade, it's half of a pair of scissors. So it makes sense there would be two of them.
I mean, I'd say James is relatively guilt-free for killing Eddie because he does kind of attack you and stuff.
But James is gonna feel personal guilt over that as well.
Yeah.
Like,
he didn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
like no, like he wouldn't go to prison, but he'd still feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that I guess I'm not even sure if it is in the first one. Obviously like everyone sees Silent Hill differently because it like not Silent Hill like the other world differently. And it goes by like how much like darkness you have in your heart and all that kind of stuff. Obviously we know Angela sees everything on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then James sees everything like cold and wet and etc. And then Eddie, because he's like boss fights in the freezer, everyone's like, oh, it's all cold to him. Like, is it the third one where Silent, like the other world's all frozen over?
So yeah, the one that was frozen was Shattered Memories, which is on the Wii.
The way, yes, oh god. And you couldn't actually like
Oh, wow.
do anything in the other world. You were just like, you get in there and all the enemies were like, and then you have to just run, so you never really got to look around. But like, so his Silent Hill's frozen, and people are saying every time you talk to him, when he breathes,
see
his breath
breath.
comes out through. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice until obviously in the freezer you can really see it, but I didn't. I guess I'm just not that.
Yeah, his Silent Hill is frozen.
Yeah.
Apparently.
It's cool.
What did
It's meant to be because it's got like cold in his heart because it's just evil.
Yeah.
He kills dogs and then
It was like his high school buddy. He killed his dog, and then like someone
Spoilers?
confronted him. Well, this is the
We are in the
spoiler.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Paul.
No, it's in Silent Hill too.
Oh.
I don't know if it was the guy who owned the dog or just some random person that saw him doing it, and then he killed him as
right.
well. And then like he like run off because he was scared, and then he ended up in Silent Hill.
Okay. So what do you think of like the characters in general? Like, does anyone have like favourites?
They're great.
Angela.
They're similar to the original. Angela's done really well.
Yeah.
Angela's done really well. You can see like she was obviously very sexually abused, and you can see like the mannerisms that come from that and how she acts around.
Like her story's
Yeah.
pretty rough.
It
Her
was
story's
horrible,
very
yeah.
rough.
Once you realise what's going on, you're like, fuck.
It's real heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy
But
stuff.
the whole game is very heavy.
Yeah.
Like that's why I can see why people say it's like such a special game and you have to play it because
Yeah.
like that story hits you hard when you realise everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then when you're going through, when you're doing her section towards the end, when you're fighting her
Abstract Daddy.
abstract daddy, and all
Yeah.
the symbolism of all the different stuff as you're going through. I don't know how much you noticed, but all of the like metal pistons coming in and out, and
Nice.
lots of like movements. Like it's all
Yeah.
the symbolism for the sexual abuse that she had.
And Abstract Daddy looks different to James
That it is to
than
her.
it does to her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he sees that because he can kind of guess what's
Yeah,
happened to her.
Yeah.
So he kind of
It's
sees
what
it as
he-
that like
perceives as what's happening.
yeah. So he sees it as that like rough shape, but obviously we don't know what it looks like to her.
Yeah.
And then at the end with her when she's on that like staircase, her brother's like we assume it's her brother is like attached to the wall.
Oh.
That's what she's looking at. Like there's
Oh.
another
Did you
figure
see
like
that?
into the
I
wall.
didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then people are saying that's her brother because obviously Abstract Daddy was the dad and then the brother's involved as well. So he's like attached to the wall.
The brother abuser as well. And in the original game, you have, when you get to the hotel, it's not in this game, when you get to the hotel, the abstract daddy becomes a normal enemy.
Yeah.
And you fight him as a normal enemy.
Oh.
And what they say, it's not confirmed in anything, but what they say is that's a symbolism of her brother doing similar things to her that her dad did to her.
Okay.
Yeah, she had a bad time.
Yeah.
She had a bad time. And people were complaining about her, saying that they made her look younger, but she is young. I think she's like 19 or something. She's very young, or 17. But she looks older because she wears older clothes because she was made to mature very quickly.
Well, yeah, because everything that happened to her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's just, she's done very well. She's done very well. I don't know if you can ever say, if you could say you have a favourite character, because everything's bad. Everything is bad.
Like,
He's the only one that's justified though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you know, she had a good reason for doing what she did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think, did you find like a letter in it, or like a newspaper, and it's like, oh, this guy's been like stabbed and no one knows what's happened, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That's her dad, like she's killed her dad, that's what
That's
she's
what
decided
they
to
like. Pretty fine. That's blood on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, she's there, but does she really deserve to be there?
But it's not hell. Silent Hill isn't like a punishment. It's something that just feeds on these raw emotions and creates that world from it.
It's because the land's like essentially like cursed.
Yeah.
Not cursed, but like the land's got like power.
Yeah. Well, it's built. It's literally Indian burial ground. There was water. There was civil war there as well.
Oh yeah, you see all that
Yeah.
for like the museum and stuff, like on the
Yeah.
pictures on the wall and stuff.
That's a whole other part. Me and you could do like a 7-hour podcast about that.
Silent Hill 1 and 3, like, it's very heavy into that sort of stuff, very heavy. And you see more of what Silent Hill actually is as opposed to what James's rendition is
Yeah.
in those games. But I will say, in this game, they took a lot of cues from Silent Hill 1 and 3 with like the grunginess and like the really like the industrialisation of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that much in the original game. In the original game, it was more about decay
Yeah.
and like things just wearing out over time, and a lot more of the the white sheets everywhere. They were everywhere. Do you know why there's so many white sheets and what the symbolism of the white sheets is?
No.
It's that when he was in hospital with his wife Mary, that was the divider
Okay.
from the ward, because
I did think like that when I looked at it. I
Yeah.
That's like one of those hospital
and
things.
that's so James spent hours and hours and hours in that room just with his sick wife. With those things dividing him from the rest of the world, as they do in this game. They block you off in different parts of Silent Hill. This game gets very deep.
Me and Corey.
The game gets very deep.
Maria, what is it, Maria?
Yeah, Maria and Mary.
Yeah. What do you think of like why they do her story?
Which one?
Maria.
Maria. So Maria's cool because she's very she's
very 90s.
her face is Mary's. Nothing else is Mary's.
Yeah.
So the rest of her makeup, even her facial structure, is completely different to what Mary's is. Her head looks different. And you know what the story of Maria is? You know where how she came into be? Because there's an entire scenario which you don't get into.
Nice, like her own little DLC, which makes it even more like messed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's a stripper in Silent Hill, and that stripper.
I think she was.
But that was taken in by Silent Hill. It wasn't really made clear if she died or she just grabbed or something.
People, this is because you were asking me about like these people. She has her own story. She has an origin. She has her own like DLC, whatever you want to call it. But then like she's sort of made to basically keep, like, obviously, like, she dies all the time, she looks like a dead wife. She's there as like a reminder to James.
Yeah.
So it's like she's made
for James.
Yeah. So like in the remake,
So she's not an actual person.
this was always up for debate before, but I think in the remake, you know, when you go through the door and everyone who played the game before was like, oh, she's about to get like pyramided.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go in there. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. You're with me. And you're like, yeah, right. And then she dies. It's kind of like, I think towards the end of the game, you can kind of see she's more like, she knows this is what she was made for. Like, she knows she's going to have to just keep dying and keep, like, coming back just to remind this guy of his failures. So I don't think she was a real person. I think she was literally made for it. But that's so messed up because she thinks she has a life. Like, she thinks she, you know, she's a real person and she's not. and then she kind of like realises it. Whereas in the original, you
So
didn't
in the original, it's thought that she was a stripper that worked in the strip club in, what was it called,
Heaven's Gate or something.
something like that, or Heaven's Night, something like that. And but she died or was just pulled into Silent Hill, and then she was reformed into Maria. Like she wasn't Maria before, but then she was pulled into Silent Hill, made to look like Mary, and given some of her memories. And then put on the mission on James.
Because one of the guys says to her in it, he's like, "Oh, do you know James?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, James is coming," or something like that. He's not a very good guy. And that's like said to her in the DLC, because isn't she like, she starts the DLC with like a gun to her head, doesn't she?
Oh, so the DLC set before.
The DLC is set at the same time, so she's created the moment James arrives on Silent Hill. Yeah, it's gives a lot of context that you're not going to see if they're not going to release anything for this game. It might be worth playing. Well, go and watch a replay, or go and watch a walkthrough of Born From a Wish.
Okay. I did think it was a bit weird when you first met her, and then the 90s like horn sounding music played, and I was like,
well, the game's set in 84, 87, something like that.
Yeah,
The
the characters definitely have a very 90s feel, like it, very much so. But like, yeah, like it was really, it made me laugh. I like literally burst out laughing when she turned up, and then the poor music played, and I was like,
but that's like her.
Yeah,
like
that's her vibe, and like she's meant to be tempting him.
She's the temptation.
Yeah.
It's seductive.
Because there is an ending where
you leave with her.
he's just like, "You'll do, let's go." So like it's all part of his like test.
Yeah. Well, she was always tempting him, actually. Yeah.
Maria's a cool, interesting character.
Yeah.
That has because at certain points she'll be like more Maria, and at certain points she'll be more Mary, and then she'll switch as well. So when she's in the prison, well, she's Maria, and then she's Mary, and then Maria, and she goes.
And she's like, "I can be what you want me to be." Kind of thing. Yeah.
It calls her dark. And she said like. She acts like Mary would, talks to him like Mary would, but then she switches back to Mary. That's so cool. It's really good how to do it, and that's where like the characterization and the animations come in really well at that sort of times, and it looks really good. She looks really, really good, and some of the stuff that James has to do, like the mocap that they got for that was really, really good. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Anyway, yes, so we go to Mary after doing Maria.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Mary?
I still feel like I don't really know much about her, other than obviously she got ill and that whole thing. Like they don't really do much with it in terms of Mary until the end, obviously.
So how long ago did Mary die?
They said
several years.
3 years, but it's not.
So the game it says 3 years, and James tells people 3 years. It's not 3 years.
It's a bit.
She dies,
Literally,
and then he picks her up, puts her in the car, and takes her to Silent Hill.
Yeah.
She got ill 3 years ago. But the way that they see it, the way James sees it, is that his life ended 3 years ago when she got ill. That's what he tells people, that she died 3 years ago.
And that's why the little girl's like, "Yeah, I turned 8 last week."
Yeah, a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura. Yeah.
Laura.
She's like, I only saw her last week, and she's like, you couldn't have seen that she's been dead 3 years, but she hasn't been dead for 3 years.
Laura's another one that sparks a lot of debate.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, "Oh, she's dead and she's just chilling in Silent Hill." Because
she was in a hospice. So do you reckon it's just one of the kids that have died and they used to hang out with?
That's why people think she is actually dead. Is because she says, like, I think it was Rachel was Mary and her nurse. So if they're both sharing the same nurse,
they'll be in the same ward.
People will say like
situation,
it's like a palliative care nurse. So she was also on palliative care. So people think she's just passed away and she's come to Silent Hill looking for Mary. But obviously because she's young, she's never like committed sin or whatever. She can't see the other world. She can't see the fog world. She doesn't see the monster.
She doesn't see any of the.
That's why when everyone's like,
when
"What
she's
are you
locking
doing?"
you into a room and stuff,
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, it's all fun and games," but like you're being locked into
all the adults are like, "You can't be on your own, because what about the monsters?" And she's just like,
What monsters?
What you want,
What are
mate?
you talking about?
Yeah.
But like,
James and the monsters.
I never give much credit to that theory when I played the original. But really, if you think about it, like, how would like an 8-year-old child who doesn't have any family was in palliative care, how would they get to Silent Hill on their own?
Yeah.
Unless like some people say that the hospital's like just across the way.
Yeah. So some of the things, one of the theories is that she came with Eddie.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're hanging out in the cinema.
Yeah, and they know each other, and they know each other from before.
Oh.
So one of the theories that she came to Silent Hill with Eddie, together, and that's how she got wound up in all of everything that's going on there.
Oh, okay.
And it might be because so in that case she'd be alive.
Yeah.
So Eddie goes on here alive, but she just got wound up in like all the spookiness going on because she went there with Eddie and all these things were going on with Angela and with James. But she technically isn't Silent Hill. And she has to be to see them, see how they're interacting with stuff. But she's like I said, she's got no major trauma,
Yeah.
so she's got nothing for Silent Hill to dig into.
Yeah.
She's just running around doing kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just drawing on the wall and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Or she might even just be in the actual real resort town of Silent Hill, populated by normal people, but she can also see James and Eddie
Yeah.
and Angela. So, but you don't get any of this confirmed. It keeps it a lot of it vague.
Yeah, a lot of it's. I like that though.
It
I like
lets you
that.
speculate. Yeah.
Keeping it vague and just like gives you kind of something to figure out yourself afterwards,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because you got to remember, while all this is going on, Silent Hill exists as a real place, and
Yeah.
it's just a normal place with normal people in it.
Yeah.
This is just like a different part of it.
Yeah. What about James then, and like just generally his story? Like, we got thoughts on that one?
I think it's different for us too,
Hmm.
because obviously you guys play the game and you don't know what he's done.
So you
I got the inkling that he wasn't a great guy very early on.
Okay.
I was like, there's something up about him, like,
your guys' opinion's going to be more interesting than ours.
but like, find out what he did at the end. Obviously, like, it's a weird one because it's like she wanted to die at one point, and you kind of see where he's coming from, but also like he didn't. She said no, she didn't want to die in the end, and it's like it's very, it's iffy. You know what I mean? It's a very iffy situation where he's been thrown in, but like, well, it's obviously fucked up with him in his head.
Yeah, yeah. It's more.
It's different in this one.
Yes, it is.
The
Yeah.
reveal is, I think this makes him a less sympathetic character than in the original.
Okay.
Because when you first see the videotape in the original, you see him like do what he does, and then she says like, "Oh, you know, I don't want to be here anymore." Blah blah blah. You see him do it, and then that's kind of it. So you're like, "Oh, like you know, he did that for his wife." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think it's like getting close to the end of the game. You hear him say like,
Oh, yeah.
"She ruined my life."
Yeah, yeah. She like
Like,
ate her for like
and then
3
and then you
years.
get that
Yeah.
like thing where he's
Yeah,
like,
he
yeah,
wanted to
he
do it.
resented her, he
Yeah.
wanted her gone. But in this one, it just all happens at one time, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Like you see it, you see all that, and then he's like, yeah, straight away in the hotel room. So I think it's different in this one
Yeah.
because you don't have that little bit where you're like, oh, I feel bad for him. In this one, you see it, you hear him say what he says, and you're like, this is the
Yeah,
bad dude.
I think it's a case of a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I know you got a different ending, but you've seen the lead ending.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So you've seen the conversation that they have with each other.
Well, I assume it's the same as the original because she says to him like, oh, if
You
you
watch me play.
if you
What do you
oh yeah, of course I
Yeah,
did. If you meant that, like, why would you be so sad and all this and that? But like, you know, doesn't make it right.
I
I don't-
He still killed his wife.
Yeah.
She was at very much of end of life,
Yeah.
and she was in a great deal of pain, and she did physically ask
Ask
to
him,
be
yeah.
done at one point.
Yeah.
But no one was going to do that. They don't strike me as wealthy people either. So James
So
has
they
a
can
very
afford to go.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So James has like a basic desk office job. You might remember in the labyrinth at some point you'll find a random office desk just chilling there with like some pictures, like a normal look. This is this sort of place. That's where James works. That's James'
Okay.
job.
And his dad owns apartments because he's in number 4.
Yeah. But yeah, they're not particularly wealthy. I don't believe Mary worked, so like they couldn't afford the best care in the world.
Yeah.
So her pain was probably stretched out a lot. And he probably saw her go through. Well, it took 3 years for him to do it.
Yeah.
And she was in a pain for a lot of that. So seeing that every day, like I can see from his part.
Yeah, you
he's
can
gonna
see
reject it. He has to look after her, so his
Yeah.
life is going to be dedicated to that.
Yeah.
And then she's probably seeing his life being ruined by her, which she
Yeah.
does say, and how she's very bitter and spiteful to him about it. So almost like pushing him away and making him hate her.
Yeah.
But also, broke up his wife. So
Yeah.
it's not a good thing for him to do. But like with everything else in the game, it blurs the line big time for a lot of different things. It blurs the line big time for a lot of different things.
In the first one, like the
Yeah.
original, I seem to remember after you watched the videotape, if you looked at the letter was blank.
Yeah.
Is that
That happens in this. If you get to a certain point in this game, the letter completely just disappears.
Oh, it disappears.
You don't read it anymore at all. So the letter that you have at the beginning of the game that you read, isn't real.
Yeah.
It's completely fake. So it's what she reads at the end when she speaks to you at the very end. That's what the letter is, and he's just took a snippet of that and then fictionalized it as
As a letter.
yeah, and that's his excuse to go to Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But that letter just doesn't exist. He's just made that up himself in his psychosis.
Silent Hill like calls to people.
Yeah.
That's why like they've all found themselves there at the same time, because it chooses people and it's like you'll do it, and then it brings them in.
Yeah.
I do think it's really cool for them to have a protagonist that's not like so many video games have a protagonist that's like the hero and he's good, but like I mean, not necessarily evil, but it's very like it's a very human story,
Yeah.
and they have very like it's a very
More.
like it hits you hard because you're like it's very very human and very like you can imagine yourself in that kind of situation.
How far into the game did you guys realise that James had killed his wife?
I had my inkling about it for the longest time. I remember saying to Kate at the start, like I was like, oh, maybe he's been beating her and he accidentally killed her or something like that. But like I had the inkling that he'd done something for a very very long time.
I had the inkling that stuff wasn't as it seemed, but I didn't know until
The video.
The reveal.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
I
it is.
think a lot of people got to that and like had their little minds blown.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's a very sad story.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And you see the hotel go from like the nice hotel to the
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Like at the end, I was doing the end cutscenes and stuff. I was literally crying. I was like, this is really like sad, but like you can kind of. It's sad for everyone involved. Like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you said it's just a sad story.
Yeah,
It is a very sad story.
and you can see why people say the story is very like special.
Yeah.
And it's why when they do the Silent Hill 2 movie that's apparently happening, I hope they don't fuck it up.
Now in 3.
I don't see how you're going to put that across properly in a movie.
Yeah, it's difficult, especially with the amount of time you get in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get all the nuance in that you get in this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You go to Eddie. What do you think of Eddie?
Yeah, he was there.
Eddie's a very black and white character.
Yeah.
Like he's very obvious. He's just a bad guy.
Yeah, he clearly like killed someone. Because like he keeps
Yeah.
like, talking about it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm joking." I'm like,
Yeah,
mm.
no, he got bullied
yeah,
for his weight, as we know.
yeah,
But then he turned that into basically like a school shooter-esque sort of personality,
yeah.
and just like killed a dog and was just a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a very fucked up dude.
Yeah, he's probably the most simple of all the characters.
Yeah.
Being sick.
I suppose that gives you, as you're playing it, more of a motivation when you do get in that fight to kill him.
Yeah.
Because he just seems like a very bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything more about Eddie? It's pretty much something.
Yeah.
To be honest,
He's a very simple
he's not got a ton going on. And then just Laura. We spoke about it a
Who
little
would
bit
eat
about
pizza
Laura.
at a time like this?
Yeah, it's just.
Did you guys find that? Did you guys find that? That was a completely optional area. That was as well. You didn't need to go there.
When we were eating that stuff in the cinema, I was like, it's making me hungry.
In the bowling
It's
alley.
bowling alley.
Yeah.
And he's
Did
like
you find a pizza
popping
in the bowling
down
alley?
pizza.
I don't think I
No,
did.
Yeah.
I went into the bowl now.
I'm sure I've had him in the bowling
He's eating
alley.
the pizza and then James is like, how can you eat
Pizza,
pizza? That's why I'm like, it's just all the monsters.
Yeah, because in the original game, he's in the bowling alley. He's
Yeah.
He's not in the cinema, and he's there eating pizza. Yeah.
Another thing as well that like
Don't know
makes
how I
people
missed
think
that.
that
It's optional.
I went in there. I don't know how I missed it.
Oh, well.
Maria isn't real, because when you get to the bowling alley in the original one, she's like, I'm not coming in, I hate bowling. And then you go in and you speak to Eddie, and then Laura runs away like she does from the cinema.
Yeah, so no one actually really
And
interacts
then
with Maria.
you come out and
No
you're
one
like,
other
did
than-
you stop the little girl? And she's like, no, she just run past me. So no other character apart from James ever actually lays eyes on her.
Yeah.
So people are like, only he can see Maria. She's part of his like other world.
Yeah.
And then so Laura again, we spoke about her a little bit.
Yeah.
There. She doesn't see Silent Hill like everyone else sees it. She doesn't have the trauma needed in order to create her own personal Silent Hill.
Yeah.
I like how she's just a shitty little kid.
Yeah, hit him up for every
I do love it.
Literally.
I do love it. She has the letters from Mary. And then James is all like going mad on her about these letters from Mary, and saying she's lying and stuff, as we mentioned about the timings when in fact she wasn't. And then to get the leave ending, she leaves with James, and James, I guess, expected to
Yeah.
adopt her. Yeah, because Mary basically asks him to.
Yeah.
But Mary says that she sees her other daughter.
Yeah.
And
So he's trying to make up for the fact
James
what he's
pretty much
done.
took that to heart, yeah.
And she's an insight to how he treated Mary in hospital. But she doesn't like James, and she's always like, "You didn't treat Mary very well." And even in the letter, she's like, "Oh, don't be too harsh on him because he's like, you know, all this and that." And she says something like, what does she say? Like, he doesn't seem. Basically, she says like, he doesn't seem very friendly, but he's a nice guy underneath it all.
Yeah, it's just the
So, like,
situation he's been put in.
Yeah, like you can, from Laura's perspective, you can see why she's so harsh to him because she's only ever seen him treat her like friend badly, I guess.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's okay. It's black and white. Isn't it?
yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So.
She's annoying, but she is cute.
She's a kid. She's just.
I like all the little
she's a kid.
drawings that she did on the wall.
Yeah.
You go up and look at them.
If you look at the drawings, I feel like if you look at some of them, they symbolise her relationship with James as well, like a sort of a predatory relationship almost. Like, a lot of the stuff she draws is like she draws some sheep, then a wolf attacking sheep.
Yeah. When I was seeing that, I
does-
was like, thinking, oh, maybe she's drawing the monsters and that's what the wolf is kind of thing. Maybe
She
that
doesn't
means
see the
that she doesn't
monsters.
see the monsters after
Yeah,
that.
the
And
monsters
then you
don't
realise
see
that
it.
after.
There's a few of them like that, and if you look into it a bit further, you can work out what they mean. Yeah.
It's always like something cute, and then like
Something horrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
in all of her drawings together.
Cool. That's all the characters, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's not a major cast in this video
No.
game, but it doesn't need it.
It's a strong cast though.
Yeah. The biggest character of all is
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill being a character
Silent Hill
itself.
itself, so
Yeah.
that's a
I
good
thought you were
transition.
gonna say Pyramid Head.
Oh no, we'll get to him. We'll go through the bosses later. Should we talk about the environments and what we thought of the
Yeah.
environments and the different, like the places we go to and things? Yeah.
I can say the one I hated the most. The prison. Fuck the prison, man.
Fuck the prison.
Fuck the prison.
Fuck the
Just dark
prison.
everywhere. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. For
That's one thing about in terms of gameplay as well. Like your flashlight is very inconsistent. With
What,
the amount of light it comes up.
It's not what 87. Did you say? So do you know how bad torches?
No, I know. So like sometimes it lights up the whole fucking room. Sometimes barely lights up like.
Because it's trying to
Inches
create
ahead.
an atmosphere.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's on
That's what I'm saying. Like it works really well.
If
And I
you
really like
turn
that.
your torch off, the enemies won't attack you as much. That's meant to be like a little hidden
But
weapon.
I ain't
Like, they
turning
don't.
my
They
torch
don't like.
Yeah, no,
They come
and
to the light.
And if you turn your radio off, they take you less because it's not on the radio.
I don't even know you could turn the
I
radio
don't
off.
turn the radio off either.
I just don't know in this game if you can.
I think you can because you can
I
just.
never tried to.
Can you just? Isn't there there's a trophy for just not using the radio?
Okay.
Then you
okay.
can just like. I think
didn't know
you
that.
don't even have to pick it up. I don't think.
No.
I think so. Because in the original, I'm sure you could do that. You just didn't go to that like the underpass bit and pick it up.
It's annoying sometimes with the radio.
Well, the radio was inside a house on this, not in an underpass.
Yeah,
You had to-
yeah.
the underpass.
Yeah, but you
like
didn't say
the
anything.
city
Press X to pick it up, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you can just choose not to pick it up.
But when you pick it up, it triggers a cutscene which opens the way.
Does it?
So I think you have to pick it up in this one.
Yeah, you can use that turn on, yeah.
Yeah.
With the radio though, it could be annoying sometimes when it's just going off constantly, but there's like no enemies around.
No enemies
And they're just like on the other side.
Yeah,
of the wall.
but
Or,
yeah.
or it's one of the bugs hiding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're fuckers.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
I think you get so happy though when you see it's a bug.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
It's
there's
not.
there's
It's
an
not.
enemy in here. Then you see it's a bug and you're like,
Squish. You squish it and the buzz doesn't go away.
One of the things I forgot to bring up earlier. The things are just fucking going along the floor. Like
Okay.
the other
the
one.
lying figures.
Oh, the line figures.
Fuck
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things.
They're
They're so annoying because they're just like zipping around.
Yeah.
It's funny when you see it in the distance and you see it going from like car to car,
Yeah.
thinking it's like the epitome of stealth. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, I saw you like 10 minutes ago.
But yeah, Silent Hill itself, it changes the environment to different things depending on what's going on. You have the normal creepy Silent Hill, which is still like the other world,
Yeah,
and then
but-
you have the other like the dark, gritty.
The fog wall.
What's
As someone who's not played any Silent Hills before, all I've heard about Silent Hill is fog, like a fuck ton of fog. Really not that much fog, really. Like at the start, yeah, there's a load of fucking fog, but then
When
after
you-
like the
when-
first hour, or so, the
When
fog's
you're in the
gone.
environment, it's fog, and then later on the fog gets swapped for darkness.
Yeah,
This is how it
Yeah.
goes.
The fog world like comes in, and then I heard someone's, I don't know if I read it or a video about it a few days ago. As James gets more clarity on his situation,
the fog
the
cleared.
fog, like how
That's cool.
dense the fog is, like lessens.
That's cool.
But I can't remember.
No, I didn't notice that.
No, I didn't notice, but apparently that's what people are saying.
With the fog, I did think at the start of the game that was the weakest area, the stuff with the fog. But I suppose you're just learning the controls and all that. But like, I feel like that was not the like all the other like it's scarier when you're in like tight corridors and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like out in the big open.
Silent Hill has that layer of the open world to get to you to the sections where stuff actually happens, and that's all that the main Silent Hill, the town is just to get you to the other areas where stuff actually happens.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like optional things that you can do when you're out in the fog, and you can look in all the buildings and get all the
everywhere, right?
Pick up all the ammo, all the house.
Didn't help me with my ammo.
Smash
I
all the
pick up all the ammo.
windows.
That's all God me.
Building
Every car comes
windows.
and smashing all the windows.
Did you notice what Maria was saying as you were walking around smashing a window?
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you doing?" And then she eventually just turns out like, "Oh no, you're going to do that." No.
Apparently, well, to get the Maria ending, you have to not smash windows in front of her.
Apparently,
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
You have to spend
Because you're scared.
all of your time. You have to spend extra time with her. Don't like
Visit
do
her in
any
hospital.
like.
I did visit her in the hospital.
You do.
I
She can
tried.
Jamie.
Too many times.
Oh, Maria.
Like you don't leave her on her own. You don't do any unnecessary like combat around her. She's not allowed to get hit.
She got hit.
The amount of times I just left her in a room with a monster. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck you, Maria. I'm going to look find this loot for a second. Give me a sec.
Yeah, you can. That was me. I was like, you can distract the enemy for a second.
Does she? I'm assuming she doesn't have a health bar or anything.
I don't
I don't think she could die. No.
No, so
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for that ending.
when she finds her
old
original outfit.
That didn't happen to me. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
No.
something-
Did you not go into that
Go
room?
into the hotel room and she finds it in the.
It's a motel room.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
motel
Motel, hotel, holiday.
room.
Same thing.
Was that well, in terms of environments? Does anyone have a favourite place?
They're all really good, to be fair. I was going to mention it earlier when we were talking about the hotel, but I liked how the hotel's reversed. So, like, the nice hotel that you first see when you get there, that's the fake one. And the burnt up one, that's full of water, is the real one, because that hotel did burn down.
Yeah.
So they've kind of like flipped what the fake and the dark version of that one is, because the dark one's the one you get to first. They're all really good. The hospital was really good, man.
Yeah,
See,
of
that was my
course.
least favourite part of the game because I
Really?
thought that's where the game started to really drag the hospital.
Yeah.
Like it
I
was,
dragged
it just
the
felt like
prison-
it
the
was
prison
going
for me.
on.
It dragged
The
them.
prison just shit me up. The prison was creepy.
Yeah.
The prison was scary,
Did you
man.
kill everything in there? I feel like they just
Yeah,
kept
I
coming
did.
down.
I killed nearly everything.
Did they keep
Yeah.
coming? Or it seemed endless. The fucking
There
crawling
weren't
fucking
any.
bastards on the wall.
There's a couple of areas like when you go and pick up one. I think you pick up one of the weights, and then it's like a shower room, and everything just gets up. I just fucking looked out there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I did. I ran.
Yeah, you have to put your hand in a hole. James loves putting his hand in holes, man. It's his favourite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Putting his hand in holes. It's going, oh, I
It doesn't really hesitate, does it?
If I come to a wall, it's got a hole. I ain't putting my hand in there. Fuck that.
It's only
I'll deal with whatever, like, without having it
Hand
in
in the
there.
toilet.
Like,
It's got shit all up his arm for the rest
yeah,
of the
literally.
game.
Fuck that.
Yeah, James just doesn't care, man. James just doesn't care.
Mm.
But yeah, prison was best. I did like the hospital and the apartments. The hospital got like, because it had like 2 levels. It got like grimy, and then it got super bad after you fight the lip monster. Yeah, lipped McGee. Yeah, but to be fair, all of those like those separate environments, they're all really well done. I think the
They all
apartments
work
are really
really
good. I think they're all really
I
well done.
got really annoyed in the apartments because I spent ages looking for, like, I think it was the last thing I needed, and it
The
was
coin.
it was the coin. It was in the pram, but because of they didn't seem to bother me in
Yeah.
there, they didn't come out of the thing. I was like, "Fuck,
You're not going to go in there.
I'm not going."
I
in there.
noticed.
And I was like, "Well,
that
that's the last
Okay.
place I haven't been." So I was
It's
like,
hard
"Well,
for me to know because
I need it."
I noticed. It was like, oh, there's something in that pram. Okay, I gotta get it now.
Yeah.
I did think at the end, like, after I looked for ages, I was like, "It's gonna be in that fucking pram."
The puzzles were really strong. I did really enjoy.
Yeah, I
the
really enjoyed the
puzzles.
puzzles. Yeah, yeah.
Even like so that they might just be like the same puzzle, but they all had a twist from the original. They were all like slightly different, which was pretty good.
Yeah, like the one where you have to change like the clock time and everything. That was really cool. I like that one.
They remind me more of like old Resident Evil puzzles.
Yeah.
The old Resident games, but the new Resident games puzzles, they're not puzzles.
Mm.
They put this thing in this slot you've done. Okay, that's not a puzzle, bro. But these are actually like
Yeah, you have to
work
think
stuff
about it,
out.
like-
Yeah, you have to work it out.
Yeah.
I did enjoy them. I'm not playing through that again on like easy combat and
Hard.
hard
puzzles.
puzzles just to see what else is there. No, the chainsaw. Have you got started the New Game Plus?
No, no.
So you get a chainsaw in New Game Plus.
Oh,
That's
that'd be
basically one hit.
helpful.
Melee's a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you imagine?
What's your go? So other than the prison and what I said, what about you?
I hated the prison. I like the hospital. Yeah, I think the hospital was really good. The second apartment you go in as well. I like them. Not a big fan of the first one, but I like the second ones.
What do you mean, the second one? So the ones when it goes to the other world, or
No.
Does it
The second set of
Oh,
apartments.
okay, yeah. Blue Creek.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was good. But the first apartment I thought was just too big and annoying me. And it had to go back and forth constantly.
See, I thought that was like very strong about this game. Like when you solved a puzzle where you got the pieces you need, I thought the game did a very good job of like sort of shepherding you back to where you needed to go without you having to think about it too much.
It gave you shortcuts back.
Yeah,
as well.
like I thought that was quite good.
The level designs, they were good.
Yeah, because you never have to think.
You never feel
where
really,
was I going to put this little thing?
you never felt lost.
Yeah.
There was
necessarily.
one part of the hospital where I was like, was it the hospital? Was it? Was it?
Describe it to us, Jamie.
No, it wasn't the hospital. It was in the prison. Not the prison. It's the underground bit, the museum.
The labyrinth.
Yeah.
There's one bit where it didn't let you go back through the other way, so I had to go up and all the way around again. And I was like, I actually had to look at the map and figure out.
I was looking at.
Oh man, that map's like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Even if I can go back, turn around, check it again. I'm like, that's not right. Okay, then.
Yeah.
What about that bit that you got stuck on
That
the
was
ladders?
your fault.
That wasn't my fault.
I was literally
nothing is.
standing exactly where I needed to be, and Chris was like, "No, you need to be over there." And I literally spent like 20 minutes going where he told me to go, and to end up back exactly where I was.
So what you
Like,
saying?
I told you. I said to her, there's 4 ladders. I was like, it's one of the
Chris
ladders.
made you gaslight yourself.
No,
Literally.
I said to her, one of the ladders. I can't remember which one. It just happened to be the one she was next to.
I
I didn't know
literally
that.
found
And she
it.
tried all the other ladders.
And I'm
before.
walking around like, bro, what have you done to me?
But then, yeah, when you have to like pyramid heads around and you have to like go round in a circle and find him and go back up that way.
That was really when you happen to walk past my screen. When that bit when like pyramid heads following you, and you go into that corridor.
Oh, yeah.
And you had just played that because I'd heard you like screaming from the other side of the screen, and I got into the room with him where it's a really narrow corridor, and I didn't think I could get out, so I just turned around and got my crowbar out and I just ran at him, and Chris was like, "What are you doing?" It's fight or flight, and I'm flying at the and I was like trying to kill him with the crowbar.
Oh
and
yeah, for a minute, he's actually invincible.
No, I know.
It was the bit where
That's what he wanted me to do.
you know the what I call the finger walls.
Yeah.
Like where he thought opened up the way.
Yeah.
Like Kate, I don't think Kate realised that if he as he come closer that would open up, so she just went at him.
I thought maybe I needed his blade, so I thought maybe I had to like hit him a bit, and he would drop it, then I could hit him.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was confused about that part.
See, what I imagine they wanted me to do in the game was just back up going fuck. Got caught in that little like square bit where I basically couldn't get out, and then I realised it was me that it was like
moving back, the closer he got.
I was like,
And he walked past me to get a cup of tea, and it was like,
You see-
"You're a psycho."
I already tweaked that the game wanted me to go through the arm wall thing, so I just ran into it while it was behind me.
yeah.
If you do that too much, Joe, he pushes you back.
Yeah, it does. If you run too far forward, it does push you back.
In the original game, you got the sword as a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't get it in this.
but it was really,
You
really
get to
big.
carry it for a
Yeah.
bit.
It's really big for James to move around.
Yeah, he did.
No, like, every time you equip it, he just still drags it really
Proper
slow. And like,
dragging it,
swing it, it's like a 3-second on dodge, but it's one hit kill on anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't get it after that, you just drop it. In this.
Anything else? Well,
We can go through the bosses, yeah. So we
Yeah,
can go through the individual bosses. So the first real boss, other than because you fight Pyramid Head.
yeah,
Um,
but you
But you
fight.
don't have to.
Yeah.
No, you don't fight him.
Obviously,
I shot him a few
I had
times,
to
and
fight
then I was
him.
like,
I
"What's he doing?"
You're not meant to know.
I thought you ran out of ammo on him.
You're not meant to know. But yeah, you fight him first in the apartments.
It's like
3
3
minutes.
minutes,
It's a
and then
3
we
minute
all
timer.
just go.
Yeah, well, I noticed after a while. I was shooting him for a bit, and then I noticed
Does
like
that symbolise something?
No.
3 minutes.
No,
I
no.
don't know,
Maybe how long you have to keep the cushion on.
maybe.
Jesus.
But I did notice after a while I was shooting him. It didn't seem to do much, and then I noticed because I was just walking around picking up all the air ammo, and then suddenly like something changed and it seemed to move on like a little bit, and I was like, maybe if I just wait around for a bit, it'll carry on.
That was so much more terrifying in the original because the area you were in was
like a box.
so
I heard about
small.
it.
It was so small and it was a struggle to get like past him. So that was a bit,
Yeah, in this one was like kind
bit
of
more
to, like,
generous. Hide behind.
Benny Hill him around, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like the shelves and stuff. Yeah. I that's really like, other than the last one, that's your only boss fight with Pyramid Head, right?
Yeah, because every time
Yeah.
He turns up,
The
but
other time, yeah.
you just run away.
Yeah. No, you don't interact with them until the very end, or with them until the very end.
Yeah.
So the next one is, I forget what the flesh is. It's called Flesh Lips. I forget what it's called. And the one in the hospital.
The weird
Is that
thing
the
attached
one-
to the hospital bed frame.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
No, that was that the one on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one that comes down out the roof.
Yeah.
And then eventually drops out and it gets its spider legs.
Yeah.
You got that. Which you never did that in the original game. In the original game there were several of them, and you
Yeah.
just had to shoot them. But
That would have been worse.
what they did in this was really cool. I like the way they did it. And in the original game actually there was two, and you're like, oh, what the hell? There was two originally. So you beat this, and then the second one grabs you and takes you to the really fucked up hospital. That's kind of cool. I like that. What did you guys think of that fight?
I mean, it was. I didn't like it. I didn't like it when he got spider legs.
No.
But
Yeah, I was like, oh,
get a shotgun out and just keep going.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the next one after that? I think. That's a hospital, and then after hospital you go to prisons, and that's the next one after that, isn't it? Really, after
Yeah,
a lot of people.
did we fight anything in that big, giant, really dark room in that prison? Because I feel like
No.
and I kept hearing something in there,
Yeah.
but you just don't fight anything in there. I was like, oh,
In the original, there's like a cell, and there's something in the cell, but you can't see it,
oh.
and it makes all these noises and stuff. And I think you can
Yeah,
follow
because
from
I'm
there
in there,
about
I'm
it.
like,
But
walking around in the pitch black. I'm like, I can hear something in here.
When you're going towards the noose, or you mean, or
I think so, maybe in the
Where you
in the
put
prison
what?
yard kind of thing.
yeah,
yeah, isn't it?
you
Okay.
can hear like
Hear something in there?
horses galloping.
Horses
and stuff
galloping
like
is the main thing.
Yeah, see, I thought it was going to be like a
The
horse
horse
enemy
fight.
or something with those. I think I was like,
And
oh,
it's a huge area as well.
yeah,
And the only thing there is up in the centre.
Yeah.
It might just freak you out.
yeah.
It's
It
because
worked.
there's so much space around you, you're
Yeah.
expecting something to come out.
And darkness.
Yeah, because when you
can't
get to the
see.
centre, you can literally see nothing.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, like the pyramid head bit, we were talking about this before we
Mm.
started, like when you go up to the roof of the hospital, and like, I don't know about you, but I'm like, okay, pyramid head's up here, I'm going to get up here, pyramid head's going to knock me off the roof, that's what's going to happen. And then when I got up there, and that didn't happen, I was like, okay then.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
go
yeah.
into that room, you pick something up, you open the door,
And
and
he's
you
there.
open the door, and he's just there, and you're like, oh.
That did freak me out. I jumped. I did
That's
jump at
the
that.
only part of the game that gave me a little frightened.
That was such a cool one as well. I really enjoyed that. Because it's like, I knew the game was cut into a cutscene for that.
Mm.
But just to see him there and then
Just
just go to
standing
cutscene.
there.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it really.
Hello.
I didn't see it. I feel like it went straight to a
Yeah,
cutscene.
they did the originals.
I feel like for me-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it went straight to a cutscene.
No, I
So it
opened the
didn't-
door,
it
and his
didn't-
model was standing there, and I was
Oh.
like, oh.
I think I just walked forward.
I think, yeah, you just never really see it.
Yeah.
He's standing there
Yeah.
before he goes to the cutscene. It's just standing there that really gets you.
Yeah, because he doesn't. Yeah,
You
'cause
don't
like,
expect it.
and the room you're in is so small. You're like, oh my god, how am I going to fight him in here? But then obviously it goes
You
to the
just
cutscene.
eats you, don't you?
Yeah.
What's the next boss stuff? After
Was it Abstract Daddy after that?
Yeah, you got Abstract Daddy in
Yeah.
the that way.
that boss fight, I didn't know whether I needed to just run away because he seemed to be damaging the environment. I thought he was going to like damage a way out, so I didn't know whether to run away or shoot him. But then after a while, I
It's
was
at
like,
certain points.
yeah, I'm just going to have to fucking shoot this fucker.
Spike up shotgun on you.
Yeah.
Shotgun on you.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
But his boss fight was cool.
Mm-hmm. I think you have to fight 3 times, does it? You
I
have to.
think so.
And then he runs
Yeah,
up again.
because you're walking around later and he turns up again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just run away that time, though, right? I think you have to fight him.
Some bits you
all
can run
the time.
away. Yeah.
You do have to fight him at once.
Yeah.
And it's obviously the last one as well. When you have to fight him in the big.
Yeah, it's
Like there,
yeah, it was each time you smash the TV,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to make him stagger or something, and then it opens
The next
the
area.
next way. Or I think.
He was in the labyrinth, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, that area I didn't like because you know when you have the grates underneath the floor.
Yeah,
the
the things
they were
kept-
so annoying. I was
Oh,
like,
very
fuck you.
annoying. Because their little tongues did so much damage as well.
Yeah.
If you just,
Yeah,
you
and then like
walk-
stun lock you with the scream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
just walk really
Yeah.
slowly, they don't notice you.
Yeah, but I see them when I run. That's just how it
Yeah.
It's a panic game.
I am a panic gamer.
It's
in
a
horror
video
games.
game. You're a sprint everywhere.
That's so true. I don't have the time to walk
No.
slowly.
I had more than enough ammo. I could have just shot them out, but I just couldn't be bothered.
I did try to shoot them down. It must take quite a lot of
No,
bullets.
they
If you shoot me in the
you have to
feet,
shoot like
One,
one
one
arm
arm
off,
comes
the other
off, and
one.
then if you shoot me the other one, they fall
They
down.
just fall off. Yeah.
You have to. You can't. If you shoot them, nothing will happen. I don't think you tried shooting at them.
Yeah.
Would have shot the feet.
I just shot
But
their
the wing
their
little mouth at the end of the
their
feet.
little flashlight.
Do you know what I would say? That the area in the basement of the hotel with them, I feel like that was the time I felt the most like on edge.
Oh yes.
Because
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
trying to sneak around
Yeah.
and you know they're out there. That's the time that I felt the most like, oh
Oh, that bit didn't bother me.
You get the bread achievement.
no, I
Oh,
didn't.
you missed it.
I didn't. I couldn't believe it. It's bread.
You just find some
I
bread.
know, I've had
And the
that.
game's like, it's bread.
Is it from 3?
I can't remember now.
It's like the girl, she looks at some bread and then the finger just comes
Yes,
up
it
and
is. Heather goes.
it's bread.
It's bread,
And then
yeah.
she says,
They remake that.
It's
I hope they
bread.
do that,
I saw someone yesterday on one of my groups, they literally had a tattoo of a
It's
piece
bread.
of bread that just said it's bread underneath it. Iconic behaviour.
You guys won't know this, but when you get to the motel, there's one particular room in the motel where you go into, and James is like, she's like, there's nothing wrong with this room, and he's like, I'm not so sure about that. And
Yeah, I
there's
remember
got weird
that.
stuff on the wall. There's a circle on the wall,
Mhm.
which is actually from Silent 3. And what's happening at that time is Heather and Tom Helford is a detective. Heather and the detective are in that room at that time, and his hat, the detective's hat, is on the chair. So it's a weird like cross-world contamination because they're in real Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Them two are. It's just a cool little addition to the
Little Easter eggs.
little Easter eggs. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if they'll do something in Silent Hill 3 with the same thing. You know,
Maybe.
he walks in and goes, "This is weird."
The biggest, I don't know, can we talk about spoilers from other games?
No.
No.
Because I haven't played
We know you don't. You don't. Yeah, you can't. You
You're
can't
gonna say
spoil it.
no.
Yeah.
Can't spoil it.
Because I want
And if they are going to make
Yeah,
remakes,
they probably will do.
Right.
Because
We're gonna be playing
I'll
them,
ask you after
Okay,
the
that's fine.
podcast because it's something that someone says to it in Silent Hill 3
Yeah.
that I thought was like a really big thing, and then I feel like no other game ever addressed it.
Okay,
And
we'll
because, yeah.
It was next boss spell.
Pyramid Head.
Was the pyramid
That was the
heads.
pyramid heads. Yeah.
Oh,
that
bit
was relatively easy, I thought.
Yeah.
Like that was like Kate was watching me play, and I was just like, go to one end, shoot.
Just go to the other, yeah.
But I was getting close a few times. Kate was like, you fucking
Yeah,
with the
you
dodge
got it
button.
up
I
close, yeah.
was really good with that dodge button.
Well, you have loads of shotgun ammo. You got to get close.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought that boss fight was. I think toward the latter end of the game, the boss fights aren't as good.
What, the last two pyramid heads and Mary?
Yeah, I think Mary. I was really disappointed with that last boss fight.
Mm.
I expected like, it's a proper end boss fight. It's gonna be really good, but like, really, I was just really disappointed with it. It was just like, it was very similar to the one from earlier with the
That's what
Left it.
spider thing, and I was like, it's just,
Yeah.
like we've done this already.
It's called flash lips.
We
Yeah.
never talked about Pyramid Head symbol, what he symbolises, and
Oh, with
etc.
James, yeah.
Mm.
Well, do you know why yeah, it's called flash lips. So do you know why?
He actually just called
It's
Flash
called
Lips.
flash lips, yeah. Do you know why James sees a pyramid head as a pyramid head?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Did you?
Do you
did
know why he sees
did you
pyramid head? So in the historical society, you go down and
Yeah,
there's a
the
picture.
two-
There's a
the
picture
two
on the
white
wall.
rooms.
No, there's a picture on the wall of
look
pyramid
at
head.
Pyramid Head.
And surrounded by cages. With the spear, the great spear, what it's called. And that's where James gets the idea of Pyramid Head, and that's why Pyramid Head is Pyramid Head.
Oh, so we see that before you even see the pyramid.
So he goes to him and Mary in Silent Hill before all this happens. They went
okay.
down on holiday, and then went to the Historical Society, and he'd seen that. And then he based his personal demon of Pyramid Head on
Because he's
on
like an
that.
executioner, a punisher.
Yeah,
And obviously Pyramid Head is there to punish James. That's
Yeah.
why he looks like
and that
that.
stuck with him.
That's why Pyramid Head wasn't in any of the other games until they decided to put him in one of the later games, and they called him like the Bogeyman, and that's why there was so much like uproar, because he's supposed to be
Just James.
just James's
James.
like demon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why when he got put in that other one, I think it's on with the is it like Homecoming or something?
Like when he's in the movie as well, and I'm like, why is he here?
Yeah, but it's because he's like
Iconic.
He's
the
the
iconic,
guy,
yeah,
yeah.
like the nasty in him.
He shouldn't have been in the movie.
Yeah, but you don't
The
say
movie
Resident
shouldn't
Evil
have
don't
been.
do that. Resident Evil have like Mr. X, Nemesis, and then Axel guy, I guess. Four? I don't know. But like they have all these different
Dr.
ones.
Salvador.
Yeah.
I think he's
Creative
like,
Silent Hill.
if you say to someone like when I say Silent Hill, what do you think of? People are going to say
Fog, Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head, and the nurses.
Yeah.
Like he's like the most
That's fair.
sort of iconic. Like I'm assuming, like if you went to see the movie and there was no Pyramid Head, a lot of people would be like,
Where's the big
well,
one? Where's the guy?
That's why they should have started the movies with 2. If that's everyone's favourite game, right? Well, the majority of people.
But also, I think that's the one that they struggle with the most.
Yeah, well, making that next.
So number one, and the story of number one is much more easy to adapt into a movie. Guy loses his daughter, goes find his daughter.
Yeah.
Shit gets fucked.
and
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sets up all the lore of the town and the cult and stuff.
There's been quite a few movies like that already.
Yeah.
And then 2's it's got a lot more difficult film themes for the film to deal with,
The
I guess.
end of the second movie, the one that's got Jon Snow in it, they do kind of set up the plot of
they do,
Silent Hill 2.
I remember watching that recently, and Sean Bean.
Because Sean Bean's like, I'm going to
Yeah,
take you and
I'm
find
gonna
my
find my
wife. And then they drop some like Easter eggs of like the prison bus going past with the convict guy on it, and the guy that picks them up, the trucker, is it like Travis from one of the other games?
Yeah, from Silent Hill
So it's
Origins.
all like they set it up like they're going to do Silent Hill Cinematic Universe.
Well, they are doing another one from the guy who made the first one.
Not a continuation of those movies.
Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't even mention the first. If you're going to do Silent Hill 2, don't even mention the previous movie or anything to do with Silent Hill 1. Because Silent Hill 2 has literally nothing to do with Silent Hill 1.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. Look, when I first said to you, you're going to play Silent Hill 2, I haven't played any of them. I was like, it literally doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, literally Final Fantasy rules.
Literally.
You don't need to know anything. But don't play 3, don't play 1.
You can't. You actually can't.
Yeah.
Anything? That's all the bosses.
Other than, obviously with Mary at the end and what she went, like,
Yeah.
it was similar to that other boss. But I think that's on purpose because they were both like hospital-bound people
Yeah.
that they were based on. And then she had a weird underground bit. That underground bit wasn't in the original game.
Yeah.
You just shot her a lot in the
Yeah.
original game.
Yeah, that was probably the thing I was most disappointed in the game, other than the moving of the crates. But
yeah, talk about crates.
yeah, crates. You know when you can't go diagonal, but you can go sideways or forwards.
Oh god,
Fucking
yeah.
annoying.
And you have to like
Maybe go down. I
Yeah.
can drag stuff diagonal if you've got wheels in real life. So, but
Yeah.
what?
Well, you
You
can
know
just
what I mean?
turn it.
Yeah, all that. Yeah,
Yeah, they did it in the 1980s, who knows?
Maybe, but the wheels worked in the 1980s, guys. But yeah, I was just disappointed in a lot of the boss battles.
They could have had
they were that good.
they would have to have like a gimmick. Because obviously James is not just gonna get super good killing a boss
No,
if
exactly,
he's
yeah.
like meant to be.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they could have had like a gimmick to every boss fight.
Yeah.
Which I kind of feel like they do in some
A lot of the
games.
boss fights
The
were
have
just-
like gimmicks.
Shoot it a number of times until it's dead.
That's not what it was like
That
in
was
the
it.
original though. That's
Like,
literally
I feel like they could have done something more to add on to that. Maybe.
Yeah. It's not. They aren't the reasons that the game's so.
No,
Yeah.
it's the story.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah.
the bit
Yeah.
before Mary's fight, it's different
Mm-hmm.
if you've got like a different ending.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you go up and it's Mary, sometimes it's Maria.
Oh.
Like the dialogue's different.
Is it
depending
different for you? I got
On the-
Mary.
On the Maria ending, do you have to fight her at the end?
I would assume so.
I would
I've not done the mirror ending, but I'd
I would
assume so.
assume so. But then you just
But if you're just leaving with Maria at the end, would you need to fight her?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Maybe you just like Mary at that point.
Probably,
Well,
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not done the mirror ending. I don't know. I've not looked. I've watched the endings, but I've not watched that
What's
bit.
the thing with the dog? Because I've seen dog endings, and I'm like, I don't remember seeing a dog at all.
When you go into New Game
That's
Plus,
great.
you have to find some different items. There's like I think it's like 2 keys, and you got to do something. And then you go into a room, and there's like, the Shiba dog,
Yeah.
like the meme dog.
Yeah.
With like
Yeah.
headset on, and he's like, "It was me all along. Everything that's happened here has been me." And James is like, "Oh no!" And that's literally like the gist of the ending.
Well.
You know, like in the end of the Matrix, when that guy's in the room with all the TVs,
Yeah, just
the dog's basically
game
like,
show.
Pressing the buttons,
Yeah.
literally making Silent Hill happen.
Fucked up Big Brother.
and then there's like an alien ending.
You got the UFO ending.
There's an alien ending in every single one of the games.
I assume there's a canon ending.
No.
Actually, that's what we got.
No,
Leave?
no. Leaves the most common ending, but it's not a canon ending. There's no overall decision whether there's a canon ending or not. But one that people come to a conclusion of is that Immortal is probably most likely to be
Which
the
one
canon.
was that?
That's
Okay,
all I got. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
that. Because I like know, like, okay, I'll read the letter, I'll look at the picture, I won't hang around with Maria too long, I'll heal after it, like, going off how it used to work in the
So
original.
what happened at the end of yours then? That was
He's
different to mine.
sits in the car, and he's basically like, I can't live without you, and then just drives the car into the water and commits
To Luke
suicide.
Lake. Yeah.
Which was what
Yeah.
people said he was coming there to do originally
Yeah,
before he got
that's why
sort of-
he got her in the
To take him to that special place
Mm.
and then do himself in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I think the letters
That makes
not
more
as
sense.
long, because there was parts of the letter I remember from the original that I don't feel like I don't think I got the part, you know, when she's like, oh, you made me happy and all that kind of stuff. When she's reading like the emotional letter out, I don't think I got any of that.
No, you did. The letter
Did
was the letter's identical.
I don't remember
The
her
letters-
saying that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the letter itself is exactly the same.
Okay, I don't remember. I thought
They
that-
didn't want to mess it up because that was a big thing for the back in the day for the guys that played it then.
There's another version of the one I got as well, when like her hand comes around and like touches his like face.
That's one of the new ones, yeah.
But I didn't
They
get that one.
added in a couple of new ones.
So I don't know what I did wrong. Apparently, like the egg, the door
Yeah,
that
but
you
you've got the
choose as
kind
well.
that's fine.
I saw a thing, someone online got
Yeah, the
3 different endings. One, like they made a save
Mm.
and
Oh,
did like
yeah,
different
yeah.
things, 1, 2, 3, and they got 3 different endings in one big go.
Wow.
So I guess it can be done, but I don't know where I went wrong. Even the apple
Yeah,
puzzle, the
I-
new apple
I
puzzle.
thought someone had done that, but I
Mm.
didn't watch the video. Obviously, I was like,
I did
yeah,
read
haven't
it, but it
played
was like a week ago.
Then started playing it. Yeah,
What is that sound?
It's
2D
a
human
human.
effort.
You won't
Oh.
I guess it's cool.
Okay.
The apple puzzle,
Yeah.
that's like helped you decide which ending you're gonna get as well. That wasn't in the original game.
The apple.
Yeah, the puzzle at the start where you
Oh, yeah, where you-
decide who's guilty.
Oh yeah, you can choose anyone and it'll
Yeah.
let you
Yeah,
through.
was
Yeah.
where you put the rotten apple
Or
or
the like gold apple.
the apple rotten.
I put the rotten apple.
I can't remember.
I don't remember this puzzle also.
Were you in the hotel room?
You
just
put, like,
an apple down on
You
the thing.
put the shards of the mirror back together, and
Yeah.
it comes up with
Apple.
writing, and then you can put an apple on the plate.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
yeah,
if you
yeah.
put, like, I'm assuming the gold apple was like Maria, and the rotten apple was Mary, so I put the rotten apple down. Maybe
I thought I only had one apple.
You can only have one apple if you don't pick up the other one.
I didn't see the other
Yeah.
one.
One of them
Because I only
like
had the rotten apple, so I just put the rotten apple.
I only had the full
And then
apple.
I found the full
Yeah.
apple.
Yeah.
Afterwards. Yeah, I was
one
like,
of them is in like it's like a puzzle with a hand,
Mm.
and it's facing up.
drops it.
It's like on the wardrobe door, isn't it? So that you
Yeah.
turn it, the apple drops, and
Yeah,
then the other
yeah, yeah.
apple. I think it's just in the courtyard of the hotel somewhere. You can just pick it up.
Mm.
So I think that
Okay.
helps towards the ending as well.
Mm.
But don't listen to me.
I
'cause
still
I
got
the ending
the-
of it.
Oh yeah, we all got the.
Paul's got the cake and you got the other one.
I said my bad
Who
boy.
did you say was guilty?
I got it
I
Snake,
can't remember.
but
Which bit was this?
This was in the apartments.
Yeah.
You have to do the puzzles where it tells you, and you have to select a bunch of different things.
Oh, is that when they're in order?
And you
Of,
can
like,
switch, you can turn them round.
Yeah.
And I think it chose the dude.
I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember either.
Still
What
think
we're
it
doing
was a Snake.
But that's one of the big ones that make is that change to the end.
Okay. We probably chose all the same. That's we probably chose the
No,
same.
no, I definitely didn't choose a snake. I
Okay.
definitely didn't choose a snake.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anything
yeah.
else?
I don't think
I
so.
think we've covered
What
quite
do you
a lot.
what do you guys think of this game? You two are fresh people
As
to this.
someone who's come fresh to it, I think it's one of the better survival horror games I've
Yeah.
played ever.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Roti remakes, but
Mhm.
like this is way more horror than those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's more action, and the story for this is actually more grounded and real and human compared to the balls to the wall fucking crazy shit.
Yeah,
that was
Resident
what it
Evil.
was.
So, but yeah, I think it was really good. I think that having the really human dark story was very. That's why it's special. I think it's
Yeah.
a very, very good
Yeah,
game.
it's rare you don't have a game where the story doesn't turn out happy in the end.
Yeah, you don't get
Like-
many video games that deal with themes like this. Like,
Yeah.
and
Like with Angela, you don't know if she survives. Like,
yeah,
you
you
don't-
walk upstairs and that's it.
you don't you don't know if she makes it out.
In the original, someone like did something, whatever they do, the magic, and they followed her up the stairs. And when her character model gets to the top of the stairs, she starts like twisting like really
No,
weird.
she turns to a monster.
Well, it's like
She's burning,
it's
wasn't
not
it?
like we were never supposed to see it, so we don't know. Like, oh, I thought that like maybe she was burning because obviously
Yeah, the
everything's
whole
on fire.
everything's on fire.
Yeah,
Well,
she just like starts, and the character model starts like freaking out. Maybe it's not even supposed to happen, but that's what they've seen.
Yeah.
or it was something extra they were going to put in that they then cut out.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But they still left it in.
Being interesting. Was that in the remakes one or that? Or
No,
was
I'm
that-
sure it's the original.
So it'd be interesting to see if they're still
If
playing
it's
it.
in the, yeah. If you
Yeah.
can do computer things, do it.
Give it to
I thought it was good. It's just,
Yeah.
I'll play any other remakes they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably won't do another replay to get different endings.
No, I'd watch them on YouTube.
I don't have the time.
No,
to
same.
do that, to be honest.
Same.
The ending, the rebirth ending.
If I was still a teenager, sure.
The rebirth ending, you can find all these items like a goblet, a stone. I think they're all in the third game, aren't they? Because that's what they're trying to. They're basically doing the same ritual.
Yeah, they're doing like cool stuff. He's
Yeah.
doing James is doing
Yeah.
cool
So
stuff.
you can basically find all these items in your new game plus, and then
Revive.
you go to the island, and he said something like, "The old gods are still here.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna bring you back, and the items that you need to find to like rebirth Mary."
Oh,
I'm thinking it must be in 3.
okay.
You see the same items for the same ritual, or you read about it or something. So, but obviously, there's never been any follow up. There's no canon.
There's no canon. You don't see Mary being brought back.
Yeah.
You just see him on the robot going to say, "I'm bringing you back."
Yeah.
And then
Oh, speaking of the robot, that's one good thing that I know, like really small detail that I noticed. It was really good on when he was rowing the boat because you can see his hands. He's got the ring mark on his finger. I thought I never noticed that.
You see that throughout the whole
I
game.
never noticed until that scene. I was like,
you
that's
see that.
sick.
You see that a bunch of times in the game.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's so cool.
Like when he goes to drink the drink and then doesn't drink it because
Yeah.
he used to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Um,
There's so many small details that are in there, and you're just
Yeah.
like, this is so.
on a
really
replay,
good.
this sort of game, because we know it before, but for you guys on a replay, you'll notice so much,
Yeah.
and you'll see a lot more on the second time through, especially with the nuance and knowing what happens now. So you'll
Yeah.
notice what things link back to what actually
Yeah.
happens and
Mm.
what we spoke about here, and us telling you what stuff means.
On New Game Plus, is it true that back windows of your car is not tinted, so you can actually just see straight into the
I
back?
didn't look, to be honest. I didn't get that far. I didn't get the chainsaw before.
Ah.
Just wanted to see if you can get the chainsaw. So I've got the chainsaw. I was like, oh, wicked. He swings it around a bit. It's just the same motion that the guy in Chainsaw Massacre does. And that's it. That's what I've got. I quit after that. So I could do it to anyone.
Mary's body is literally in the back of the car. So if you, I never looked the first time. I didn't even think to look.
Mm.
So I went into New Game Plus and I looked through the open door, and you can like literally see the body with the sheet
Yeah,
over it.
yeah.
But apparently, I saw yesterday the windows aren't tinted.
Mm.
So I never noticed the first time. Did anyone look? Did you look the first time I loaded in?
I looked around the car, see if there was anything in there, but I
You
didn't
couldn't see it.
notice.
I was looking everywhere. Like,
Mm.
I didn't notice.
Uh,
For you two,
Yeah.
is this the best way to play Silent Hill 2?
It's different.
It's different. They've added some stuff.
Yeah. It's like the Resi game, Resi 4. So there's a reason to go back and play the old one as well.
Yeah.
I tried, I couldn't.
If you can do it, I really like those sorts of. I really like those take control games. I don't know. People are still making modern versions of those. That's still very good. But again, I think it's probably something you need to have grown up with.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think this is still a really, really good redo of Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy with what they've done. My expectations were low.
So
Everyone's
And
waiting with such low
I think
expectations.
I think that helped a lot, to be
Yeah.
honest, with a lot of people. But this is a really, really good rendition of Silent Hill
Yeah.
2.
they
And
definitely did it justice.
Yeah,
100%.
they get across the same points that were important back in the day,
Mm.
and I think that they knew that they needed to make it good. Like this is,
Yeah.
they got handed this license and they were like, "This is our one chance.
Mm.
If we don't do this, we'll basically go out of business because no one's going to give us anything ever again." So they had to give it their all, and they did. And
I
they
like
did.
the changes that they made.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like we said, like going up to the roof and knowing like Pyramid Head's going to be here, and then
Yeah.
like, those little things where you go somewhere and you
Going
think,
somewhere you expect
okay,
something
this is
different.
going to happen,
different.
and then it's different. That was really good.
So Konami wanted to change things more,
Oh,
and Bloober is the one that went back and said, "No, we're going to keep it more
Because
similar."
they'll get blamed.
Because they got blamed. They would have
Yeah.
got blamed. They would have got blamed, and
Very
they
true.
went back and like petitioned Konami and was like, "No, we're gonna do this." So I don't know what particular things they were, but saying we're gonna do this more similar to what the original game was because they have to, and they did well with
Yeah.
what they had. They did
the
well.
loop theory. We were talking about this
Yeah.
before. Like that's like a thing that people have always talked about. Like, James is in a loop. He's lived this. He's done this multiple times. Everybody you see in Silent Hill, it's James. It's got the same clothes on.
Everybody's dead, yeah.
Every dead body you see is James. But at the time, people were like, "Oh, it's just they're just reusing assets because it's cheap."
It probably was. It's probably,
Yeah.
to be honest.
But then, like the new one, obviously you get those. I don't know what they're called. Are they called like glimmers of the past or something? Like when you
Yeah,
look
The little pictures.
And you get the fuzz, and you get
Oh,
the,
when you go to something.
when it changes the camera angle, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the rooftop, when you see the broken in fence, that's when Pyramid Head literally picks you up and throws you off in the original. So you
Yeah.
go up to the fence and then it happens.
but there's no reason that would be like that unless Pyramid had already done that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Illusion.
Final Fantasy VII remake in a way. It's a different.
So yeah, that's probably the closest way to do it.
Yeah.
It's like it's in-game redo.
Yeah.
And like
Where it's
the
canon to the
pictures and
universe kind of
Mm.
thing. Yeah.
Someone
That's
saw
cool.
the like cipher in the pictures and it says like you've been here for 2 decades. Just like
That's cool.
it's a theory
It's cool as
people
a
had
deeper
from the
thing.
original.
Yeah.
But I think this one's feeding it, it's giving it more traction. Obviously they're never gonna confirm it.
No,
But-
because they leave it to people to.
Yeah.
Just imagine if there was to be like a Silent Hill 2 too.
But you could
Imagine.
arguably say that this was that.
Well, that's what it'll be.
Yeah.
And they'll leave it open to the vague
Yeah.
interpretations of everybody that's played it.
Mm.
Which, if you really get deep into it, this is what you can come to these conclusions. Or if you just want to play it as a basic sort of horror game, enjoy that, you
Very good.
absolutely can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of layers there you can dig into if you want to.
The survival horror renaissance is continuing to
It's
happen.
great, man. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
But Dead Space remake was great. Alan Wake 2, fantastic.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The DLC was okay, it wasn't great.
I need to play that DLC.
Yeah, this good. Silent Hill 2 coming back. Oh, so good.
All the Resis.
All the resis. I'm happy, man. I'm in a good place.
Hope it brings more.
Yeah, me too. I'm more. Another bunch of indie ones coming out as well. So many
Yeah,
indie,
yeah.
really, really good horror games coming out. Yeah, it's great. I'm just happy, man.
Yeah, man.
Good time. Good time to be a horror fan in video
Yeah,
games.
literally. Right. We'll
Cool.
leave it there.
Yeah, so.
Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know what you think of Silent Hill 2. Let us know what ending you got. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Bye.
Bye.